Welcome back and bienvenido to another Lifetime of Conversations episode.
No habla, un poquito hablo español.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm
Hey.
going to say hi. Hi, welcome back.
Hey, speak English for crying out loud. We're in America. All right, so anyway, all right.
I try.
Yeah.
I definitely try, but
Yeah, I butcher English bad enough as it is sometimes. Which is funny. Oh, I laugh at myself when I do. If I say something really stupid, I just start laughing. I'm like, I wish somebody was here to make fun of me. That was stupid.
anybody hear that? Oh, there's nobody.
Damn
here.
it. But okay,
What
so
are we talking about here?
oh well, I work in a lot of different communities, and I go into these gated communities all the time. So I just wanted to talk about HOAs.
Oh God.
All right, so I mean,
Never a fun conversation for anyone who's not the head of an HOA because they're the only ones that win.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't live in one. I never will. Hopefully, God willing. That they're.
I've had a little experience.
Oh God, they're so bad. And some
But
of the,
in Pennsylvania, my HOA was very different. So imagine we had 80, just to give you an example, we had 80 houses in Pennsylvania in our community, right? And my house was one of them. I actually owned a house at one point, right? 15 years. But our dues were like $450 a year,
yeah, that's nothing.
right? We had a pool and a little man-made pond and road maintenance. And I think most of it went to road maintenance, plowing, and salting. Which, that's it.
It's fair.
It was. And that's why I'm not really going to complain because it never went up more than like $10 in 15 years. Yeah. So we had whoever was running it was probably pretty smart. Like they were decent. They were average.
And they're not supposed to be making profits off of them.
Right.
There's-
It's not.
yeah,
It's not.
okay.
That was not the whole point. The point was to care for the place where everybody lives. Right. Like, yeah.
But I look up some. Okay, so first
man.
of all, my favorite interaction is the guard gate. And now you would think that the more expensive the neighborhood, the better the security is, and then the cheaper ones. No, it's
my God.
so random.
No. Yes.
It is
and
so fucking
now you're dipping
random.
into that job that I do.
Yeah.
No, no.
Dude, there are places.
No.
There are places that are like little. I mean, just like little HOAs with normal little houses like mine and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
simple
it's hard to
suburbia.
get in, and the person's dressed like a security guard. Sometimes that they're dressed like bums.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that they
sometimes
just
they're sleeping.
Yeah, sleeping.
Sometimes they're. Rude.
I haven't caught anybody sleeping yet because I've been there in the daytime. But I mean, there's ones that I go to where like they'll be armed. I saw this one dude. He had a gun and 3 magazines. Three magazines.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you say that. I had interactions with a PBSO sheriff. Where I worked. That one comes in on the weekends every once in a while, and he had 3. And I said to him, I was like, hey, is that standard? And I was like, that's a little bit of overkill.
Yeah.
Not, but being another person, again, coming from a gun field at one point in my life, better to have and not need than need and not have, right? But he said, he's like, some people, standard is 2. You have to have 2. He's like, but if you choose to have more, but then he's like, 32 pounds this thing weighs, his belt with everything on it. 32 pounds. It's like carrying around a small child, like an infant around your waist all day long. But yeah, that's crazy. But that's what they choose, that person. They've always done that, so they probably always will do that. And unless someone says, no, you can't have 3, they're going to always have 3. Yeah.
And then once I went to this one neighborhood, the guy's sitting on a metal folding chair with flip-flops on and a beer can underneath.
Oh, yeah. Because that guy's going to save you.
And then some of them are like, I mean, I don't like to use it, but some of them are, these guards are like ghetto as hell. And the people that live in this place, with these $1 million houses, I'm like, do you have any idea who's protecting your precious?
It's not protection.
Precious little, but in their mind,
it is.
in their
Well, I guess
little mind.
It's the illusion. I always
It's
like
the illusion, exactly.
yes, I use the example of the airport.
Right? Like, perfect.
So
Yes,
you
same
go to
thing.
the airport and you're like, some people go through the bioscanner, some people go through the metal detector. Most people are wanded or go through something, right? But you don't all go through all of them.
No, it's random.
So it's the idea that it's the illusion of we're mostly doing something.
Yeah.
The dogs over international, like when we went from Pennsylvania, or where we flew out of Jersey to Florida, they got dogs when you get into Florida. And 4 at a time, you walk through and these dogs check. They don't have that in Jersey. But here, because I guess it's, it's a
a
coastal
hub.
state, it's a hub, it's It's more likely you're going to get it here.
Everybody's coming in and out of Florida.
Yeah, it's just the illusion. It's the idea that we're doing something, and something will eventually stop something, but it's not going to stop everything.
Yeah, and then
those guards at your they are.
Is funny.
Let me tell you, I have come.
They just wave. Sometimes they just wave you in.
Many of them, and they are useless.
Absolutely.
And we're not. I mean, like even you're not really trained. We're not going to stop the perp. I'm already dialing 911 if something happens, but you're there to just prevent the dumb stuff. Because like the guy who wants to rob that house, he doesn't want to kill people, right? He wants to just rob stuff. You know, that's just what they. You know, that's not how it works usually. But the idea that you can stop them from entering, or deterrent, is maybe the word.
Or instead of driving in the car, they could just walk in.
Right, but then how do you get the stuff out? Right, so the idea is I went in. Maybe if you go in for jewelry or money or something like that, fine. Who has money anymore? Jewelry maybe, but the idea is that you can't be stealing a flat screen and then just like walk down the road with it.
Just if you have the right shirt on, Tony's Appliance.
Oh man,
and then
they're usually third party.
Oh yeah, they always are. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, they're all different companies.
Yes.
I see. Yeah. I mean, I went to one the other day, and they actually had a cleaning lady that worked for a maid service outside. The guy had his sliding glass door open. He was dressed nice. I could smell the cleaning products. The inside of the place looked immaculate.
Now those people, most of them work.
Squeeging the
most
windows.
of them work. Like they work. They work for their money and they do a good job because.
Like, wow, I never saw a cleaning lady at the guard gate. In this big, it was a pretty big guardhouse. Some of them are tiny. Sometimes these guys are like, can you please spray in here? There's roaches. I'm like, oh shit, so I do it. And then I'll look at I'll look up what the HOA fees are. You can just Google any of the ones I go.
Well,
on.
yeah,
$1,500 a month.
A month.
Just for the
fucking
HOA.
month.
And this place will have 500 houses in it.
Oh my god!
And I'm like,
month.
so I mean, these HOA is collecting all this money.
Yeah.
And what do you think they're doing with it? They're investing it and making millions
only
off
imagine.
of the interest.
Honestly, I know it's been in the news. I mean, what we consider news. You know, people have been talking about it because people are starting to realize they're getting gouged.
Yeah.
You know, and especially when it keeps going up, and you're like, well, what are we getting for this?
Nothing.
Where is this? Why am I paying this? Well, taxes.
Cable.
I don't think that it's all because all of a sudden, if it's been always, I don't know.
No, they pay for the little guard shack. They maintain the pool. All these people have their own pools anyway. They don't even live there half of the year.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
Oh, this is my $3 million house that I live in for 8 weeks.
This is the problem with them. Like, then they have no reason to complain. It's like when, like, for us, we live in an apartment and our rent's gone up every year, $50 a month. Every year.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like, and they always use the same excuse. Well, the HOA goes up. Why?
Yeah.
But the elevator's always broken. This stuff doesn't get done. The lights constantly go in and out. Sometimes, but like, so where's it going? If it keeps going up and we keep paying more, and now we're just renting, like we're renters, so we don't even have like a gated community, all this extra stuff to pay for. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's,
and there's certain
you don't deal with that here. You don't have an HOA. This is just a normal neighborhood.
Yep.
And everything seems to run okay.
It runs fine.
Right?
I mean,
if I come in here all the time, and I don't live that far from you. I'm like literally like maybe 5 blocks away.
Yeah.
And you don't need gates. People, things happen. Sure, things happen everywhere. Doesn't matter. Things happen inside your gates, and you can't prevent them from the crazy people that live there.
I mean, we have like if people's grass gets out of hand and stuff like that. You'll get if you leave your trash can in front of your house, you'll get a note on your door.
Yeah.
But I mean,
is it polite courtesy? Who did that? Was it a neighbor that did that, or is there somebody?
Somebody drives around.
But that's the township, though.
Yeah,
That's not
code enforcement.
But that's Florida State, not
it's the city of Royal Palm Beach,
or the city, right? Which basically is Florida State. But it's not like people within a community deciding I am the boss of your community.
No condo commando.
Right.
Yeah. And dude, no, you never heard condo commando? Oh my
great.
God, yeah.
Not a thing in PA,
They're the worst.
but
It's such a thing.
Good one.
And some of these HOAs, and first of all, that they're all named like similar, like Valencia Shores, Valencia Isles, Valencia this, Valencia. I'm like, come on, seriously. Oh, and there's a new ones now. I took a picture. It's called, that they finally put the sign up. They had like a banner, like a plastic banner or something. It said the name of the development is Journey's End. I'm like, what is this? Like, Grandpa needs a new place to
Yeah.
live. Yeah, he's gonna die soon.
I was relating.
Yeah,
actually.
Truman Journey's End. That sounds more like a cemetery or Journey's End.
Yeah, but
here's the finish line, motherfucker.
I mean, yeah. For me, I would have just named it Final Destination. You know, because that's what Florida was to me. I get it.
Oh, man. And some of these HOAs, like if you have like a palm frond fall on the front, and it's laying on your grass, you'll get a fine for that. Even if you don't live in Florida and you're somewhere else, you better get somebody to come pick that thing up.
I know. Even if you don't live in Florida, like it's funny, like they're finding you and you're like, you're not even there.
Yeah,
it's like,
but I mean, some of these people.
I know.
Just have
You
so
know what it
much
is? I think we've Florida's all about the aesthetics, man, and in some ways it has to be because it is a touristly driven state. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that there aren't people who. Like, no one's coming into these neighborhoods.
No, not at all.
Like, inside, if you have a guard gate, tourists can't come in to see your nice neighborhood. No. So what does it matter, right? It's just the idea with power and control
I spent $1 million on this house.
Yeah.
And when I walk out of my house and walk down the street, drive down the street, I want to see pretty houses.
Hey, you want the Disney neighborhood. You know, like that whole, when it gets to, like, the grass has to be, like, 2.37 centimeters or some bullshit. And it's like, they have like a ruler. Like, you ever see that? They have a measuring stick.
No, I've never
Oh,
seen
I've seen that. And I'm like, what are you fucking doing? And he's like, I'm measuring the grass height. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God. Did you measure your 2-centimeter dick before you did that? Get a life.
I mean, when I was the kitchen manager at Perkins, we had a pancake measurer. And I had no, I'm not kidding. To know if the pancake batter was made right, when it cooks, it'll fluff to a certain height. And I got the same result from my people I worked with. Dude, what the fuck are you doing? Are you measuring the size of the pancakes? I'm like, yeah. So now I saw this guy measuring his grass. I'm like, I get it. I get it. There's an asshole. Someone made this guy do it too, or whatever.
Hey, I feel your pain, brother. Pancakes over here, man. Come on.
Hello. Give it in your pocket.
Yeah, and there's some of them that, like, okay, suppose I'm doing work on your house. And I'm doing 5 houses in your neighborhood. I just so happen to say I'm going to see Dave.
Right.
They'll call you up, you in, okay, he let you in. I go do your house, and I go do another person's house, and I'm, another person's house, and I'm speeding, and they catch me speeding or something like that. They find the person that let them in. So even if I'm not doing work on your house, and I just so happen, I'm here for this address, and I'm on your permanent list, and that lets me in, and I do something stupid in there, you're the one that gets fined.
It's ridiculous. It's like, I mean, everywhere else outside of this place, it's the driver, right? Like, especially, it's like if you get into an car accident, a vehicular homicide, who was driving? They always ask that same question. Right. There's a reason they ask it, because it's
important.
They need a finger somewhere being pointed, right? And it kind of makes sense. Who was driving?
Yeah, and you could paint. And some of these communities, they have these big, beautiful banyan trees and this shade all over the place, and it's really nice. And then someone said it looks like somebody took the same house and just put it next to each other, next to each other, next to each other.
Oh yeah,
and they all just. I'm like, this is the ugliest. There's no trees, there's no shade. You're just getting the sun beating on you all day long. It's hard.
I do like those banyan trees.
Oh man,
those are amazing. And actually, the story behind them is pretty amazing. Like, especially the big ones.
You told me.
Yeah, it was 1950s, 1960s when they were first brought in, or the late 60s, early 70s or something. So most of these trees are like 50, 60 years old. But that's what they look like now, right? Like, this is what they look like 60 years later. I kind of want to know what it looked like when they put them in. Like, did they think that this tree was going to turn into this gargantuan, giant, amazing trunk ecosystem? Like, every time I look at one, I just go, think of everything that's living in. Like, it's like Avatar, like the movie, but like on a miniature scale. Like the mother tree. Like, there's like hundreds of millions of things living in this tree. Yeah. They are really cool.
I want it off of my property now.
Cut it down. Like, okay.
I'm like, lady, that this tree.
Actually, I think they're from. I think they're from India. If I'm correct.
Cool.
But the thing is, they're not evasive. Like, you don't see them everywhere. Wherever they were put at that time, that's where they are. Like, they don't really spread like that.
Yeah, they're like, hey, I didn't ask to be here, buddy.
Right? And the plants release your worries.
Yeah, and I'll be driving down one of the roads, and then people look at you like you're a criminal. Like, you have to be a criminal.
Who are you?
Yeah.
I don't recognize your car.
Why do you have this job? Why are you a plumber? Why are you a painter? What's the matter? Did you go to prison? You can't get a better job? You're going to steal? And they just, like, look at you.
Yeah. So you're right. For the record, he's not saying they actually say these things. He's saying the look implies these things.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I just wanted to explain it because the listeners can't see the face and understand the sarcasm and the implications.
And this month, park on the odd side of the street.
Oh, my God.
So I park on the odd...
Worse than fucking Alternate Street side parking. At least in New York, there was a reason. Because they needed a giant machine to come and clean the dirty streets. That's what alternate side parking was for, right? So the street sweeper machine could come through. Here, it's just for no reason other than some aesthetic ridiculousness.
It changes every month because I don't want people parking on my side of the street every day. Well, then next month they'll park on the other person's side of the street. They better. And if you're not going the right... I mean, nobody's ever busted my balls except for one time. I was parked on the wrong side of the street, and the guy...
facing the wrong way?
No. I was just on the odd. I was supposed to be in the even or whatever. So some guy in a car, I guess that's,
You've got mail.
Oh, my God. This guy, I have to call him back. I was just thinking about it. It's my friend Trung. He just bought a mansion up in Baltimore.
What's his HOA like?
I don't think he probably doesn't have one. I'll ask him. But so some guy, I'm like, I'm only going to be in this house for 1 minute. Not even in. I'm going to be at this house for 1 minute. I'm like, fine, whatever. So I pull it over, and it wasn't facing the right way. Oh, you have to turn around. I'm like, you know what?
And it's even worse when you work for a company that you don't live there. You have to, because if they had enough time to come over and tell you these things, they are definitely going to complain and call.
Well, he was just driving down the street. He just so happened.
Could have just kept driving
and minded his own business and went to his house.
Like,
I wish
is that
going to
break the case? We caught a master criminal because he was facing the wrong way and parked on the wrong side. This is why we have these rules.
Yeah, I would pray to God that he called the number on that truck, because he's going to get a hold of Angela, and she's going to say things to him that's going to make him wish he didn't get out of bed that morning. What? You're breaking again? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, she'll go to bat, definitely.
HOAs are and then you were like, and this is coming from you where you don't even pay an HOA. Like, you never paid an HOA.
Hell.
Right.
No.
Like, I have to pay one. I paid one inadvertently in Pennsylvania, but at that point, again, it was manageable.
Yeah, you got your money's worth.
Yes.
They have to fix it. You live in an environment where everything gets messed up.
We had tried at one point. It was a very old community. Like, there were a lot of old people that lived there. And only, it was, like I said, it was about 80 houses. Mm-hmm. And, PA is different, so it's a small community, but, they're all offset and it's a little elevated. We were like almost the top of the mountain, or at the top of the part of the mountain. But we wanted to get more involved. We were there maybe 10 years, and we're like, maybe we should get involved in the community since we're not that old, right? We might be around a while. Right. So they're like, they were talking about the funds and what was allocated, and he's like, we got like $200 a month for maintenance on the pond, right? And they have just a man-made lake next to the pool, and they have a gazebo, a pool, and a pond. And it's a nice pond. It's not a huge, giant pond. There's fish in there. They stocked it with pretty basic stuff, sunnies, bass, perch, bullshit, right? And he's like, we maintenance $200 a month. I'm like, $200 a month for maintenance on this pond?
Doesn't nature maintain it?
Yeah, it's a pond. But then they're like, we were thinking about putting a fountain in the middle. And I'm like, no, don't do that. That's why? Why would you do that? Why would you take this beautiful pond and then shove a fountain in it?
Yeah.
Like, to me, he's like, we've got the waiters and, we have the money. We just need someone to do it. And they were trying to get me to do it. And I was like, I don't agree with this. I don't want you. I fish in there. I don't want a giant shooting fountain while you're fishing. Like, it's a calm, relaxing place. Like, sometimes bear would even come up and come around the edge of the pond. It was nice. But it just made me think, and I'm going, you have $200 a month for the maintenance of this pond? Now, I get, like, clearing out the the pipes, like the inflow, the outflow. You have to make sure you maintenance that kind of stuff, right? Especially after storms and detritus from autumn. But $200 a month.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, we didn't even pay that much. I'm like, you guys got a lot of money, and you just want to throw a fountain in there. You're like, do something tangible.
They have to spend on it. They're just looking for stuff
that was my point. I'm sorry I didn't get to that quicker. They're just looking for a reason to spend the money. And
how about charge us less next time?
Well, even if not, do something tangible. Like, you could reinforce the shoreline. So that for collapsing, you could
send us all a nice gift basket.
Yeah. It's never gonna come back to the people. It's supposed to always go back into the community, And I get all that, but it's like, I don't know. Like they could have at least built a little fishing shack with a washing station.
Yeah, that
right?
makes sense.
Just think, it doesn't matter what it was, and I could have come up with 100 ideas, but they were stuck on, no, we want to put a fountain in there. They never put the fountain there. Yeah, I know, and this is why I mentioned this. It was like 4 old people on this community for like 20 years. They were on it the whole time. They were the only ones, and the only reason someone leaves it is because they die or move, and most of them don't move. And this is why at that point I literally looked at them. I'm like, you know what? No, forget it. You guys are good. My wife went to a couple of meetings, and she's like, it's a joke. She's like, they won't listen. She's like, they love the fact that I talk shit and I tell them what it is, but they're not going to change it. What's the point of saying it if they're not going to do anything about it?
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
And that's the unfortunate part. And it becomes bureaucratic. It becomes red tape. And this is why I think corporations now own all these fucking HOAs, because they love their red tape. They love their legal paperwork, and they hire a lawyer, and he says, well, this is this, and we own the land, and we make the rules, and, oh, by the way, we bought out the HOA contract, so now we own it and run it. Now you work for me.
Yeah. And people buy houses and pay the HOA, so it's going to continue happening.
Yeah.
If nobody ever bought the houses in there, this wouldn't even be a thing. Like there's one place in Wellington. I'm not going to say the name, whatever. But
no.
If you want to move, okay. Suppose you want to move in.
Right.
Okay. You buy the house, whatever. You want to move into this neighborhood? Yes, I want to move into this neighborhood. Give me $70,000. For what?
But who are you giving this to?
To the community, the HOA, whatever. What are you? No. You'll never get it back. Just give it to us. It's ours now.
See, this is where the transparency and the paper trail, like this kind of stuff.
That's how much it costs you to move in.
That makes sense.
And by the way,
you're paying someone to get a job.
Yeah, right.
Right? No, you're mistaken. It's supposed to be the other way around. The job pays me. I don't pay you.
All these people are so rich that live in there. They love that because they know some
feel like
poor schmuck is not going to move in.
So it's like
so if he sees somebody moving in, I know this guy's got money over here.
Yeah.
Now you have to join the club, the membership. Yeah. You have to join. Do you know how much it costs to join the golf club membership?
I don't know. Half of the $70K you gave them already.
$200,000 a year
to lot join more than the $70K.
to join the golf club. Now you can golf anytime you want. But I'm 80 years old and I lost my legs in Nam. Right. Oh, really? Oh, okay. $200,000 for the golf club membership.
Still gotta pay it.
Plus, you have to spend this much money in the restaurant every year.
Yeah.
You could spend it today and bring a bunch of friends in.
We always
have
talked
a big
about it.
Dinner.
We talked about it even in PA trying to be cheap, and I'm like, you didn't use the pool in PA very often. I have to be honest, it's very cold.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Summer's hot, cold, but it's not that hot.
Yeah. And how long can you really
opt
use it?
out of the pool? If we don't use the pool. No, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, there's a huge storm brewing behind you. Giant bolts of lightning are like flashing behind your head.
I hear the thunder.
But yeah, you can't opt out of certain things. It doesn't like to work like that.
Yeah. Well, and then God forbid they catch you in the pool and they, hey!
Yeah.
Do you know how much money you owe me? How long have you been in that
You guys,
pool?
it's different here in Florida. It's like you said, so you have a community pool, but it's like then almost every house has a pool. Dumb. It's all dumb.
Yeah,
and if we had a pool, no one in my community had a pool. I don't think I ever saw one house that had a pool because it's PA, number one. It's really hard to dig, and I don't know, it's the mountains, and it's, I don't know, fucking also cold half the time of the year. Yeah. But that I get. But here it's like a dime a dozen. Like a pool is like a joke.
Yeah, if you don't have one, your friend has one.
Right.
I mean, it's not hard. And if your friend don't have one, drive 10 minutes and go to the beach.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, man, HOAs, they annoy me. They're like, I think it wouldn't be so bad, and I think they wouldn't be so bad if there were better transparency laws. Like, every single person that pays an HOA should be able to demand proof of where this money goes for every house, for every year, for everything. They should be able to, especially nowadays, they should be click and point, and it should be transferred, and it should be able to be proven.
Well,
Like,
it's an
the paper
escrow.
trail should be followed.
It's an escrow just in case this happens. This
Doesn't
is
matter, but it should still, like, what was spent on this? How much was actually spent on, it's okay. Here's the good example. When we talked about the presidential debate that just happened, did they fact check? Now, maybe they fact checked one more than the other. Okay,
maybe they did.
They did, but they have to fact check because it's part of the point of the moderation. And this is my point: is that, like, there should be that for HOAs. Someone should be fact checking when you go to a meeting and they're like, "Oh, we spent $8,000 last year on the pool maintenance," and then you look and everyone's got the same paper that they downloaded somewhere else, and they're going, "Actually, it was 4,500. Where'd the rest of it go?"
Yeah.
Right? Oh, well, I guess I was mistaken. You just doubled that number, right? Again, that I think would transparency. That's the biggest thing.
And sometimes
shame.
these people get suckered. This one community I work in, this guy convinced them to put grass in all the houses, the whole entire thing.
Inside, like the living rooms?
Yeah. Yeah, the bathrooms, people will just like lift up a leg.
It's different for shag carpeting.
So
what do you mean, like grass though? Like
well, do you know how we have St. Augustine grass in the front yard and the backyard?
Okay.
No. You want this grass. I mean, this is grass that needs to be maintained.
Right.
Like golf course. It's expensive grass.
Yeah. I know you think grass is
Millions
just grass, but no.
and millions of dollars for them to put this grass in. It started to die. Started to happen, of course. And then the company ran out of money. They wouldn't give them any more money, and they just took off.
So now they have patchy, crap, expensive grass that's not supposed to grow here in Florida.
Yep. And guess whose responsibility is to fix the grass?
The people that live there?
Yep.
Yeah. The people that live there, not the HOA?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Like, isn't there an insurance for those reasonings? Like, you'd think that there's backing insurance.
What insurance company in their right mind would write a check to these
I don't know.
people?
The insurance companies in Florida will barely, like, actually give homeowners fucking insurance, let alone insurance for grass.
Yeah. Right.
Wait, so you want to insure the grass? Like, and especially when you put something that doesn't belong here. Like, you don't have enough evasive crap in Florida.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's reasons why. Like, too wet, too dry, too hot. Maybe it's an elevation thing. It's a sea level thing. It's an air thing. There's a reason you're not supposed. It doesn't grow here.
Yeah.
Now there are some things that can tolerate it. There are some things that work.
Yeah. And some things that work and you have to maintain. Like at the park over here, that big, huge park has beautiful grass, but they have to take care of that.
Oh, yes. But that's also, yes, and that's taken care of by the state.
Yeah.
Once it's a park, whether it's a national park or federal park, a state or a city, these are park officials.
Yeah, our tax money.
Yeah, right. You already paid that in. That's like the U.S. HOA. You pay your taxes into it. But when you're paying your taxes into it, and then you're paying an HOA.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, wait a minute, something's wrong here. That's what pissed me off about the whole fucking DeSantis I want to turn state parks into golf courses. Got the fuck? Are you leave the fucking
Jonathan
parks
Dickens
alone?
Park.
You don't have enough golf courses.
Florida has more golf courses.
I don't understand. It's one thing if you're like, we don't have any, or what? And you have some of the most beautiful national parks here. They really are. They're maintained. They're well kept. They're simple.
Yeah, Jonathan
people
Dickinson
go there.
Park.
They want you to you think it's supposed to be like Disney World with flat. No, it's supposed to. It should have a boardwalk, right? Because it's a lot of marsh. I don't want to muck around. I don't want to get bit by gators and shit and snakes. But it should be well kept. The people that do it should care, and usually they do. I have to be really honest. Most of the people that work in the parks, they honestly do care.
Sure.
They're not like fuck off employees who don't give a shit. They actually care about what they do. But it should be about rangers and research and science and ecosystems and bringing back the natural habitat, because we've spent so much time destroying it. We have to give
we
back.
ain't done yet.
But then he wants to turn around and put a golf course. A golf course. Because you need
Was
more.
that him? I mean, I remember they had a vote.
It's just
I
the
don't know
idea that
who wanted to do
he's
it.
for it.
Oh, I don't even know.
And I follow it because I'm deeply invested in nature and ecology, and moving here to seeing you've got plenty of golf. It's not like there's a shortage. This is my thing. It's like
Somebody
you have a
paid
shortage
somebody a
of
lot of
national
money.
land. I know, but this is the point of why we don't drill on national parks. Why we don't frack in national parks. It's a park. We made it a park. You leave it the fuck alone. Because now all you're doing is going back in and mucking with the thing that you fucked up to begin with. Why we had to make it a national park, because companies kept buying up the land, cutting down the trees, and fucking it all up. So you made it a park. We saved it. Now you're like, well, we want to do this now. No. Leave it the fuck alone.
Well, for the fact that even came up in
I know.
discussion, a lot of money traded hands somewhere.
It has to. Well, it's always about that. I mean, literally. It's the whole point of it.
I mean, if I had as much money as Elon Musk had, I could get laws passed.
Sure. But even then, you would have to put a lot of your time and effort and money into that. It's like the reason why, like him as an example, doesn't is because he's like, I got
Better
ships
things to
build.
do.
Yeah. Like whether it's X or not, Twitter or whatever, I have got spaceships to build. I have cars to make. He's like, I have enough regulatory crap to deal with that I have to just deal with. But if he stopped all that and put his effort in his money, sure, he probably could.
Oh, it's illegal to chew gum on Sunday now. I mean, sure. You give the right big fat cat politician enough money, sure.
Yeah.
Well, well, that's better. I just want to talk about it.
So, okay. So, I love talking about the problem. Give me a solution.
Don't move into those shitholes. That's my solution.
But that's not
my
a solution
circus.
because there's always somewhat but then you're going to do nothing but segregate more. So those rich people will
They
always
choose
move
to
in.
live there.
No, I know that, but they will continue to choose to live there,
Good.
like you said before, knowing that other people can't. So, okay,
Good. I don't want to live next to them anyway.
yeah. I think if you would ask me if I would think solutions, I think the biggest and most important is complete and utter transparency. You put money in, you damn well should be able to see, not only see, but prove that it goes where it's meant to go.
Well, if all the people putting the money in do demand it, then maybe it'll happen. Right now, I guess they aren't demanding it.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
really
I
don't know.
think it's
So
for a
that's
lot
their
of the
problem.
reasons you said. Some people they just don't want to be bothered. I pay this so I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah,
right.
I guess.
And it's that I went to the convenience store at 1 a.m. to buy milk because everything else was closed. Right, closed. But I paid $3 more.
Yeah.
That's the convenience. Is the whole point. But I think that's their point. That's why it'll never change.
Yep. Even if I had if I had all the money in the world, I mean, there are some places that I'll go to some house. It's just a regular neighborhood, no HOA, and I'm like, this house is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't even know this neighborhood existed, and
There's always going to be a bad apple in the bunch, or what you would consider, and just because you don't agree with the way they keep their lawn, like the hoarder, like there's always a hoarder somewhere.
Oh boy, yeah.
And they're the worst, like the ones that collect in their yard, and if they collect in their yard, they're collecting in their house. And what goes on in your house is not my business, but the yard is everyone else's business, and there is a limit. But I guess that limit has to again be agreed upon by everyone, and there has to be transparency. What are we doing about it? Most of and that's the funny thing is like living in New York and Long Island where we lived, there was very, very few gated communities until you went where?
Oh, until you went to like nice neighborhoods.
Northport, Smithtown, right. All the higher end neighborhoods.
Yeah, well, not in Brentwood.
Gated. Yeah, but even Hauppauge, even
I mean, they put up gates to keep
Central
us in
Islip.
Brentwood.
right, yeah, with the gates for the opposite. They're like the insane asylum gates,
All right, you
the barbed wire faced inwards,
yeah, you
not
animals
outwards.
in Brentwood, you stay where you are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we didn't have that experience. Like a suburb to us was exactly what a suburb was.
Yeah.
It was open, people kids ran around, people drove around, things happen, ice cream men.
Oh yeah.
You don't see that very often here.
Oh God, what a great job that would be. I would just love
We didn't have
to
a
drive
gate in our
fast
community,
enough.
but there was a sign, no soliciting. So this one time they have like a company that sells meat on a truck, right? Like frozen meat. I forget the name of the company. It doesn't matter. And, he pulls up in my driveway and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, hey, we just wanted to know if you got. I'm like, you know, that there is no soliciting here in our community. And I was like, okay, I'd appreciate it if you don't come back to my house and do not pull up in my driveway in your truck. Okay. He never came back, but there's no gate. But there is a giant sign that says no soliciting. And that's exactly what it is. No Jehovah's, no like religious bullshit. No, I'm selling meat. Like, I expect like solar panels was a big thing where everybody's right. Right. I'm going to buy solar panels in Pennsylvania where above me is just trees. Okay, sure. But, You tell them once and they usually go away. But it's like, you don't want that. Especially when someone pulls up in your driveway in PA, it's like,
Yeah.
You're like, you unfortunately become a local. What you doing, boy? Like, can I help you? You know?
I don't need your fancy solar panels.
Yeah. You know, we if I wanted, I even said to the guy, I'm like, buddy, if I wanted meat from your company, I'd be on the internet ordering it.
Yeah.
I don't need you to drive in your truck and then I'm going to buy it from you. I could have it delivered tomorrow, next day.
Yeah, but I already bought it off the internet.
Right.
I put it in my truck and now I'm driving
I think this is also what kind of, diluted the let's say the traveling salesman angle. Yeah. You don't really get that kind of solicitation anymore because it's almost unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like, because I could literally on my phone, as I'm talking to you, order the same meat and have it delivered tomorrow.
Right.
Why do I want it right now? Like, I needed a steak. So there is still a supermarket down the road.
Those days are gone.
I
could talk to people right now that are 21. They're old enough to drink, and I could say this to their face. One day in my life, somebody knocked on my front door and tried to sell my mother a vacuum cleaner. They'd be like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Really? Why? Because it was his job. Why?
Yeah.
Because if he sells one more,
here, this is fun that you said that because think about the encyclopedia salesman.
Oh God,
they were internet salesmen, right? Mm-hmm. They went door to door selling internet knowledge.
Yeah,
right. That is now free on the phone. Like if I paid. I never bought any of those, right? I don't even know what they would have cost. They were expensive.
They were very expensive.
Especially Britannica.
Yeah.
They were, I mean, I've read a few of them. They're pretty good, right? They're amazing.
They were good.
They even had details and they have like pictures of certain things, right? So what do you think a complete set would go? Back then,
it was like almost like north of $500.
Okay, right. So I was going to say about a half a G.
Yeah.
That today is triple, right? So you're looking at, let's say, $1,800 for a set of books that tell you all stuff about stuff.
Yeah.
And now we have the internet.
Yeah.
So like, and it's again, you can go like right to the same with the meat, the vacuum cleaner. Like my wife, I have a vacuum cleaner at home. It's like the best vacuum cleaner she's ever bought. Mm-hmm. Right. And it's lasted the longest. And we had a house in PA. We never had a good vacuum cleaner as this. And I'm like, where did you fucking get this? This is a really good vacuum.
A Kirby.
No, it's not even like a high end. No, like, it's not like a super name brand. She's like, I don't know. I got it at like Walmart for like $80. And I'm like, you should have bought two.
Yeah, I would have put one in my car and sold it door to door.
No, I would have saved it.
I know,
because it worked so well. Eventually, this vacuum is going to die. That is one thing about vacuum cleaners that they bought door to door back in the day. They lasted like 25 years.
Yeah, you repaired it and put belts in it.
They had like a store. Actually, but you had to buy a bag that only fit in this specific vacuum. Yeah, and no other thing would work. Yeah. It won't have the seal. It won't suction. It won't work. And then I have to throw this away.
Yeah. But that's what you do.
The bagless vacuum cleaner trend was like one of the best things to change things.
And encyclopedias were the same way. Suppose somebody knocked on your door on Thursday, hold on a second, November 21st, 1963, and sold you a set of encyclopedias. And you were looking through, John Kennedy, President of the United States, he's, 35 years old. The next day, he's dead. And now this encyclopedia, wrong.
Right.
Hey, let's read about John Kennedy. Wrong.
I guess not wrong, but
out of date.
And
wrong.
Unchangeable. This is the one thing. Like, there's not going to. And then if I wanted an updated version, I'd have to pay another $100 for the book because I'm just putting the price in the whole set thing.
Yep.
But
but then you do that a few pages.
Wiki
there's his brother.
Changed the hour after it happened.
Right? As soon as I find someone, I see someone's dead on TV or whatever, I go to Wikipedia immediately.
Yeah.
And usually
it's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right away.
I have to be honest, and people would shit on it for a long time. Wikipedia is amazing.
It is.
I mean, they honestly are. Most of them don't even get paid.
Yeah,
which
I know.
I don't think is right in any way, shape, or form, because they do a good job, and they moderate as much as they possibly can.
Right.
It is human input, and people can change it. So at that point, some of them are a little wonky, and they do get things wrong. You can't say that they don't, because they absolutely do. And it's usually like something dumb, like an age or a time or a place someone was born, or something small. But like most of everything else was right. But the idea that it can be changed immediately, so that we're not in the wrong. Yeah.
Wow.
I watched a video. I watched those free documentary videos on YouTube, right? Like, and this one was like Florida, just wildlife, And the guy he's a British guy narrating this thing, and it was a great video. It was very, very well compilated and very well photography. The photography in the video was great. But he kept referring to all of the alligators as caimans.
But when you say it in a British accent, even when you're wrong, it just sounds so right.
No, it still makes it wrong. And so now
Jesus
immediately
had
I'm
an
like,
English
okay,
accent.
that's fine. Now, granted, there are caimans in Florida, but they were introduced, and they're very south, right? Because they don't like the cold weather, so they'll never get to Orlando. They literally die. They get cold easily. And there's also crocodiles in Florida. I didn't know that either. That's fucking wild. You guys got actual crocodiles, right? But everything else is an American alligator, a native to America. But this whole documentary, they're just showing pictures of alligators, and he keeps saying caiman. And to me, my comment is, this is great, good footage, good video, and it's free, and you get what you pay for, right? But I'm like, but this is why misinformation is so prevalent, is that this stuff doesn't get corrected. Yeah. And then after I posted, and I said it's American alligator, not caimans, and I explained the same thing, you look at every other thing, and everyone's saying the same. Everyone's saying the same thing, because you got most of everything else right, but you got one of the big main, but you didn't change it. You just leave it there, and it's going to stay there. And more people are going to watch it, and more people are going to see this, and oh man, it's annoys me.
Dave. Well, do you know what shouldn't annoy you? Potato.
Listen, you got Attenborough on there, and that motherfucker's not going to get it wrong, okay? Attenborough would be like, he would slap that British guy around. No tea for you.
No tea for you, mate. But that,
I don't care what, your narrator. Yeah. Everybody likes a good British narrator. Who doesn't?
Of course. I mean,
you think British people listen to American narrators?
Yeah, they've got to, because but
would they prefer I like a British narration, but then it wouldn't matter to me whether it's, but I prefer British. You think they prefer American, or is it guttural to them?
No, I think it has to be, because if you watch a movie and it's in biblical times, Jesus had a British accent, and so did all his disciples. Oh Lord,
yeah, because I'm sure that was,
or right? Am I right?
I don't think Jesus had a British accent.
Yeah, but I mean, but in the movies, yes, or
yes, or because all the actors had a British accent.
Yeah, or if you no, because I mean, Americans can't watch the movie Jesus of Nazareth, and he's like, all right, everybody, I'm gonna walk on water. Like, this is bullshit. He's like, I'm going to walk on water, Peter. But my Lord, you're gonna get your feet wet. We're like, yeah, that's how they talk. Or when you watch a movie,
that's the way they talk.
When you watch a movie about outer space, well, the Federation is getting together, and we're gonna strike against the rebellion. We can't be like, hey, everybody, we're floating around in space. We're gonna friggin'
True, but the only difference is space has usually a good mix. But yes, there of course.
So when British people watch the Jesus movie, make some popcorn, Father. We're gonna watch the Jesus movies. All right, disciples, get over here. All 12 of you, front and center.
I want to see I want to see everything narrated in a New York accent.
Oh,
in a slightly over-exaggerated, thick New York accent. I did one of my TikTok videos about pigeons, and I did it in an exaggerated New York. But it was all factual, and it's very hard to take it seriously. But I have to be honest. I couldn't take myself seriously listening to myself trying to take myself seriously, and I'm just like. Yeah, it just comes off funny.
If any animal on Earth is going to have a New York accent, it's a pigeon.
But that's not true. I mean, Britons have a British accent. They're pigeons.
Yeah, but I'm talking
just
about
as many pigeons as we do.
The pigeons in New York City shitting on statues.
But that's again locale.
Yeah, hey, Where do you live? I'm a pigeon. I live in Manhattan.
You know, the only
know,
difference, I
strut
mean,
around.
China has pigeons too, but they're considered food.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something about the pizza crust in New York City. Best pizza crust around. These Philadelphia pigeons over here, they ain't never had pizza crust before.
You know, New York pigeons are always arguing with Chicago pigeons about who has the best pizza.
Oh, jeez,
You
and
know,
these friggin' Jersey pigeons. They all think they're friggin' New Yorkers.
look, living in the suburbs, they're in trees. Who lives in a tree? We got bridges and buildings.
You schmucks. Well, that's about HOAs.
Yeah, I don't know where we just we lost the
yeah,
tangent
no,
on the
that's
HOA
even
for a
better.
long time.
That's better.
But that's okay. It's okay.
I don't think we've
that's
ever
a good
not gone on a tangent. I think that's.
No, yeah, that's the whole point.
I think that the tangent is usually funnier and better than the original topic.
I think it depends on how far we go.
that's
Like,
true.
you know, that the thing about a tangent is it's fine as long as you have a lifeline.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you need a cord to be able to be pulled back.
Right.
Because because then someone is eventually going to go, what were we even talking? What were they even talking about? How did we get here? Me, I always go, how did we get here? Like, I like the tangents, but I want to know what got us here. Like, what was the thought process that we didn't stop at the time that we let go? I love that part.
Well, do you know what? I think if we continue on this tangent, we're going to be fined $75 a day.
The podcast HOA is going to come and hit us. Spotify's going to like send me an email.
Ding. Okay. Well, yeah, that's all,
All right,
I got.
everybody. Well, thanks. Thanks for your. That was a good one.
I just thought it was interesting. I think about these things.
I dislike HOAs only because of the crap that we have, the lack of transparency. But other than that, I really didn't have any opinions about them. But we don't have that much experience, so
I don't live in one, and I never will. So,
yeah, and you're lucky. It's
not
good.
my circus, not my monkey. Have fun, guys. Enjoy your little guard shack and your neighbors talking trash about you and calling everybody.
All right, everybody. So the lesson for today is don't join an HOA and something about monkeys. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to A Lifetime of Conversations, and we will catch you next time.
See ya.